What is up, guys? Pie Muffin here, and we are back with our Tales of Arise video. So, there was a plethora of information that came out today on the game. There are a bunch of content creators who were finally able to upload their videos. Some people got some pre-release, a pre-release version of the game, not really of the game, of a part of the game. Basically, a pre-release demo that they were able to try out. I am not one of those YouTubers that was given that. It's pretty much, obviously they give it to people who have pretty big followings so that they can get more eyes on the game. I am not one of those people that has a huge followings. Maybe someday, that'd be great. But for now, we're just going to look at all the gameplay we are able to see ourselves and just kind of talk about everything. So, first thing I want to talk about right here, this is the, status screen. So when you press start or whatever button it's going to be, in Zestiria, I think it was triangle on PlayStation, but then for Berseria on PlayStation, you tapped the middle pad, whatever that thing's called. I don't know what it's called. I've had PlayStation for, 7 years, and I still don't know what the thing is called. But the touchpad, you click that for Berseria. I'm not sure what it's going to be here, but regardless, this is what you're going to see. And, a lot of people are kind of about this because normally, because all we have the characters' names on the side, and their health bars, which you get to kind of look at what everyone's stats are kind of going to be, at certain levels. You get to see with CP. We'll talk about CP later because that has to do with how you use your arts. But no kind of pictures, no attractive visuals to kind of be okay, these are the characters. You just have the names on the side. Now, I do want to kind of leave this open because this very well could not be how it's going to look finally when the game comes out. But odds are this is most likely what it's going to look like. But everything else on here is fine. Where the gold is, fine. If you want to keep the characters' names and levels over here, fine. All this stuff being down here, for the different menus, equipment, and stuff like that, that's fine. But, just having, a little picture of, the area you're in, I don't know, it's just not as appealing to me. I would much prefer if we had, the either anime models or even just, the 3D version artwork of the characters just kind of, right here, and then you scroll across them. This feels kind of barren. But enough about that. Right here, they could have literally just taken all 6 of these artworks, these things right here, and just put them across the screen. Or even if you want to use their release, artwork, you could have used that too. So I don't know what we're doing here. I guess we'll see. But that's what it is. This image was taken from the actual demo people got to play. When you start the demo, you pretty much get to choose the character you want to start as. I'm pretty sure you can change throughout the demo. I don't know if we'll get this demo ourselves. Tomizawa did say that he wants to get the game in the hands of players before it comes out so people can kind of test it out. So I expect probably a month or so before the game comes out. Probably a month before. Games today like to do their demos usually a month before the game comes out. I know Scarlet Nexus got theirs. I think it was the end of May it came out. Something like that. So maybe the middle of August, something early to middle of August, we might see a demo for this come out. Which I don't even know if I'd probably play it, but if it's story demo, I probably won't touch it, just because obviously I want to just play the game fresh. Obviously for the channel and all that stuff, and for myself as well. But yeah, so that's cool. And then now I was able to find an English version. Someone posted a video without, talking over it. So we're going to slowly just watch through this. It's 26 minutes. We're going to skip around because I'm not going to sit through, 26 minutes of the video. But we'll go over, some of the important stuff that we're kind of going to see here. So let's just dive right in. It's kind of nice that they let you choose your voice selection even for the preview version, because I'm sure some players, want to play in either Japanese or English. Okay, so those are all the menus. So, like it said right here, this is who you want to play as in the demo. So let's read what all of them say. So, let's just kind of get an idea of what character is for what, even though we can pretty much tell with the amount of trailers we've got by now. So Alphen, a swift sword fighter with an array of arts to combat any type of foe in close quarters combat. Xion is a long-range gunslinger who also uses astral arrows, letting her Okay, I need to pause at each character, apparently. Xion, a long-range gunslinger who also... Okay, a long-range gunslinger who also uses astral arts, letting her heal the party between shots. So she is our definitive healer, so to speak. So, I mean, that makes sense. We kind of figured at first that she would be. It's kind of ironic that she just hurt everyone around her, but yet she's the healer. So that's kind of interesting. Rinwell, a mage who mainly relies on astral arts. Though casting takes time, her magic has a far reach. So she's your usual, mage, like Rita type character, for sure. Law, close quarters martial artist whose sheer power and flurry of strikes overwhelms his enemies. He punches. It looks like they didn't let the last two be selected at this part. It looks like you can only start off with the starting four. But from what I've seen so far, it looks like they are still playable in this like preview version. So Land of Green, Elda Menancia. We've seen some of that in the trailers.
Well, off we go.
Obviously, the English voices are playing, but when I do my actual playthrough, my playthrough on the channel will be in Japanese. I'm just so used to the Japanese Tales voice. It's just, I think will be a more enjoyable experience for me overall. Plus, it'll be a lot easier to kind of talk without talking over, scenes that might happen during a playthrough, because it's in Japanese, so most of my viewers speak English, so it won't matter as much. You'll be mainly paying attention to the text. I mean, the voices will still matter. I'm going to try not to talk over anything, but... Okay, so here's a scene that's not voiced, which I do find interesting, but it looks like this isn't story-related. They do also say, it still says game under development, so this could be a scene that's normally voiced, but it's just not voiced yet in this version of the game. I do like the dynamic. Alphen's kind of like your, very kind of like innocent, dumb boy swordsman, like we're used to in Tales, where Xion's kind of like the serious, like, hey, get it together kind of character. Music is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. But let's take a look at all this stuff on the screen. So, Boost Strikes. Boost Strikes, it seems, is going to be right here in the middle. Use normal attacks to build up the gauge. Then when the gauge is full, press one of the, so down here, the D-pad stuff, to unleash a potent co-op attack that can defeat non-boss foes. So that's kind of like the stuff that we saw. And then, of course, let's talk about boost attacks right here. So press one of the directions to trigger the corresponding character's special move with unique effect. So this is, originally people thought that this was going to be how we control, which character we switch to. And that's not actually the case. You will use the directional pad to activate these boost attacks, which is pretty much, the team attacks that we've seen in the trailers, where the two characters do like an animation together. I'm not actually sure how you switch characters. You might actually have to like press, open the menu, or maybe it'll be like R2 or L2 or right trigger or left trigger if you're playing on Xbox. We'll have to see. This is obviously your hit counter. Cure points consumed when casting healing and support arts. So they are keeping, so this gauge down here, arts gauge, that's how you use your normal arts. There's not like an actual number for that, but healing and support arts, so buffing defense, buffing attack, actually healing, I don't know what healing arts Xion's gonna have, first aid, healing circle, we'll have to see, as the game progresses, but this is how you use it. And the thing with these cure points is, cure points can only be so the number doesn't go up after a battle or while you're walking in the field. There are two ways to recover cure points. One is to rest at use a camping site. I don't know if camping is going to be an item. It's been an item in past Tales games, but we haven't really seen them in a bit. I don't actually even remember even if they were in Berseria and Zestiria, I never felt a need to use them if they did exist. I don't think they existed. I could be wrong. So it does seem like they will be making an important comeback. So number one, you use the campsites, and this will refill. Or two, you stay at an inn. I'm sure later in the game we're going to be able to, fast travel between places because, newer games do have fast travel features. So I'm sure later in the game when you have like whatever flying contraption we're going to have or whatever teleporting method we're going to have, based on the story, you can just go back to town, use an inn. But of course, if you want to save some money, I assume camping is going to be a much better solution to fill that up. So this does make it more important that you have to kind of pay attention. You can't just use, healing arts, nonchalantly, because if this goes down to 0, you'll have to just waste all your items to heal until you're able to rest somewhere. So making sure you're full on gels, as well as making sure your cure points is up to snuff when you're getting into some fights is going to be very important. Allies HP, pretty standard stuff. I like that it shows the back party as well. I'm not sure if there's any benefit to seeing the back party. I guess if you're going to switch out, you want to see if someone's healed or not. Arts. So arts are tied to Y, X, or A, which means, this is obviously Xbox controls, because there's no A button on a PlayStation. So on an Xbox, that probably means B is just your regular attack. So you'll build up your combo with B, and then you'll switch into arts. And it seems the difference here from videos I've seen from people, unlike Berseria, there's not going to be a specific kind of like, what would you call it? I don't want to say rotation, I guess you could say, to arts that will be like, because in Berseria, there was kind of like specific rotations of using arts after each other that made them work better. So you always wanted to have like very specific kind of like locked in ones. But for this, it seems like you'll just be able to use, whatever you want. But the thing here is there's ground arts and there's air arts. So if you're in the air, these arts will change to whatever you have set to your aerial arts. So that's pretty much everything here. Oh, okay, so RB is normal attack. That's interesting. Very interesting. So what's B for? Push down the left stick and right trigger to, oh no, you just push in a direction and use right trigger to evade somewhere. Okay.
Don't get careless.
That's very, so what's B for then? Or I guess it would be circle on, I guess it would be circle on, PlayStation. But, unless just for this demo's sake, there's only 3 arts equipped right now. But, I am curious what B will be used for. So as you can see, it is very free, free run. Up until Zestiria, it was usually, unless you had a skill for it, you were pretty much locked to moving, forward and backward. You could use free run to kind of like move around the map to kind of place yourself better, but you wouldn't fight in free run for most Tales games. It would just, like in Vesperia, for example, you would only use free run to kind of get out of the way of something real quick, but you're not going to fight in free run because you can't string your attacks together. But it seems like this game is sticking with what Berseria had with the always in free run, so you're always able to run in every direction. Boost strikes are one-hit kill attacks when performed with other allies. This is what they were talking about. On bosses, obviously, it's not going to be a one-hit kill, but it is in regular enemies. So you use the D-pad, and then boost strikes occur more frequently lower enemy HP. So you do that,
There you go, Elton.
and there you go. So that's one enemy down. And then it's kind of nice that there is in battle kind of like dialogue when you use like boost strikes and that stuff like that. I think that's good for the first battle.
Great.
Little banter right there. Okay, so each character as well also has their own specific perks. So let's talk about Alphen's right here. Flaming Edge Part 1. Alphen can sacrifice HP to use a Flaming Edge, to use a Flaming Edge, a strong, wide-reaching blaze sword attack. To do so, hold Y, X, or A. So you hold down the button and you'll use his blazing sword instead of his regular sword, but it will sacrifice some HP. So I guess if you're really just trying to wear down an enemy quick, and you don't mind sacrificing some HP for that, this is what you'll kind of want to do. Flaming Edge moves cost no AG to use, so that's kind of nice. You won't be sacrificing any of your arts gauge. Flaming Edge Part 2. Flaming Edge moves have the added bonus of dealing extra damage to downed enemies, so if they're laying on the ground. Plus, after learning a certain skill, you can continue to hold the button longer, letting you exchange more of Alphen's HP for more power. So, definitely, you know,
You're the one.
high risk, high reward kind of effect. And then that's pretty much what we get.
Heavy lift.
You know, the battle ends, result,
Power you wield.
and then they have a little dialogue down here in the corner instead of an actual victory skit, which I'm still not like super happy about. I still would prefer victory skits. But people are saying that, you know, there's so many different dialogue conversations that happen in the field and after battles and stuff that it still feels fine. But when I play the game myself, I'll have to judge for myself. Okay, he learned Dragon Swarm. Cool. Okay, so you can okay, art screen. Let's go back a second so we can see. Art screen, art setting screen. You can assign arts that you've learned to each of the different buttons. You can set 3 arts to use while on the ground, plus an additional 3 arts to use in the air for a total of 6 equipable arts. So yeah, B isn't used at all. Okay. Art list screen, plus left or right trigger to inspect the arts you have. Characters that are set to auto can use all of their arts. So normal things, you can, if there are certain arts you never want your character to use, you can uncheck them. That's good for like grinding purposes. A lot of the time, and also, you know, if they have a lot of buffing arts, but you're just, you know, kind of killing enemies and you're trying to get stuff done faster. So as you can see here, you know, he's got all his different arts, so you can kind of just put here. And there you go. You can obviously do it mid-battle to kind of make things better. And then just go back into combat, just like that. I didn't realize I was apparently holding down on a button on my keyboard. Let's go back a second.
Could have been worse.
So we did see something here. Where was it? Where Xion did this. Right there. Let's take a look at that real quick. So she quickly got her boost attack. So that's not the like double attack, but you can still activate their thing so they'll do it themselves. I guess if you're getting bullied like severely and you've got other teammates that are not, you can have them kind of attack to get the enemies off of you. There you go. There's another team attack. Very, very cool. All right, I'm not gonna pay too much attention to the story because I want to experience this myself. I don't think there's much story in here, but you get the idea. And of course, I will post the link to this video down below in case you want to watch it yourself. Okay.
We got some good equipment.
I can't say its appearance is to my tastes, personally.
So that's another appearance, bringing up a good point. So your weapons and whatever you kind of use will change depending on what it looks like. So right here we're going to see, I believe. Oh no, that was just for the protect ring. I know at some part during this, there's, or one of the demos I saw, someone put a new shield on Kisara, and it actually looked different, so that is still sticking in Tales, where your different weapons will actually look differently. It wasn't as apparent in Berseria, because it was always Velvet's hidden blade, so you really only saw it when you were actually fighting. It wasn't something like, oh, the sword's on your back, you can kind of see how it's changed at all times, or like, in Vesperia, you always saw what was on Yuri's hip with his sword. Or actually, not really on his hip, because he never held it on his hip, he always held it in his hand. So very cool there. By the way, it was also mentioned in one of the kind of reviews that was talked about that apparently it takes about 15 to 20 hours to get the entire cast in your party. So these 6 characters, after about 20 hours, depending on how much time you're really taking with the game, will be in your party. I don't think that's too bad. I'm really thinking of most Tales games I play, besides like Symphonia and trying to think of other titles that might be a good example, but the Symphonia is the big one I can think of, because obviously you don't get Zelos, Presea, and Regal until you actually go to Tethe'alla, which, depending on how long you're taking, could be like 40 hours. So I think 20 hours is fine. I mean, I'm hearing rumors that this is like an 80-hour story. So if that's the case, if you get everyone at 20 hours, that gives you 60 more hours to kind of really get to know these characters. So I'd definitely be fine with that. Oh yeah, that's another thing. This game is bringing back crafting. You know, in Berseria and even Zestiria, there was no like real crafting system. It was kind of like, okay, you can buff your weapons and, you know, kind of make them stronger type stuff. But we haven't seen a crafting system in quite a while. You know, Xillia had a fashion of it to an extent. Okay, so it looks like, you can see right here there's a campfire. So it looks like there will actually be like real campsites that you can just actually stay at. So that's probably how you'll restore all your stuff. And then of course you can buy stuff here. Looks like there'll be vendors on the road. You can just kind of, you know, restock on apple gels. We get all the good stuff, you know, apple gels, peach gels, orange gels, pineapple. Obviously, we don't have as many gels as we used to, because gels used to be used for different reasons. But I guess your orange and pineapple gels will just end up being used for probably your healing gauge, because that's the only thing that uses actual numbers. So very, very cool there. So you will be able to restore it yourself if you need to. And you can create accessories. Okay, so let's take a look at that. You can use ore to craft accessories. Once you select an accessory to craft, choose the ore you wish to use as a material. The rarity and bonus skills belonging to the ore will then be carried over into the accessory created. So you can spend a lot of time making some really, really good accessories. So I think that's really cool. Ores can possess up to 4 skills, with rare ores offering more skills. To activate these bonus skills, the accessory crafted from ores must be enhanced. You can see some stuff here like null poison. So I guess if you're dealing with poison enemies, definitely have an accessory with that on. Half AG cost, so you'll be able to use more arts. BG charge rate, elemental defense, and increased aggro. So on a tanky character, you definitely want to have a... So like Kisara, for example, would definitely be good to have a aggro accessory on. So it looks like we're going to see how it's actually done here. Accessory to craft. Here's what you put in. Different rank ores. And there you go. Accessory crafted. Very, very cool. I do like this. I think it's a nice thing. I wish there was also weapon and armor crafting, but I guess accessory is fine.
You can never be too prepared.
But did we have to spend so much?
I like that. You know, there's dialogue after you you spend too much money. Very cool. So that's a Black Onyx Protect Ring. So you'll have a different rarity for these accessories that you actually put on. So that's very, very cool.
This time, most likely Zoogles, I would reckon.
Alright, I think we've pretty much gone over what we need with the combat, so I'm just going to keep kind of moving ahead till we see... Okay, so there you go. You can see it right there. The different look for the actual accessory. Let's take a look again. So you see it right there. His iron gauntlets are, you know, the silver ones. And then the Dawn bracers kind of just removes it on this side. And then you really get the pack of a punch on that side. So very, very cool. I like that that's still going to be a thing.
Hey.
Oh yeah, this is 100% going to be voiced. We haven't seen anything voiced yet, so I'm guaranteeing that this stuff has not actually just been implemented into the game yet. Okay, so you get to see a good look at the map. You know, even just this one area, you look at how big of this it looks, and I'll just be excited to see what the entire world map is going to look like once everything's done. Got some cows out here, so there's a lot of kind of life to these areas. Being able to jump is something. You know, of course, in past Tales games, I mean, there may be a Tales game out there I haven't played where you could jump, but unless there was like a prompted thing, like a ledge to jump over, I don't think we've had jumping. Or swimming. Could be wrong. Alright, what do we got in here? Rock wall. Okay, so this is the item for, or the weapon for... Oh, there you go. Another weapon for Kisara. So let's go ahead and see how that looks. It looks horrible. I mean, it's called Rock Wall, so I guess it makes sense, but definitely an early game weapon. So I figure, you know, probably their levels are 25 right now. So most likely around like level 25 should be when you have the full party. You know, it's a decent bit into the game. Most Tales games, you're usually between, you know, level like 70 to like 85, roughly, when you actually beat a game. So getting all your characters at level 25, I actually don't have really any complaints with that. Okay, so this is one of those special enemies. I mean, not really special, but it's an enemy where you're not really going to do too much damage unless you actually hit its weak point, which its weak point is on its backside. So some enemies, if you want to actually kill it faster, you will have to target their like special weak points. So very cool there.
All we have to do is get rid of that thing, right?
This definitely looks like a harder enemy. He's got like some black electricity coming off of it. He even gets his own animation. Very, very cool. We're just gonna kind of skip ahead because I think this is just like a giant boss fight against this man. Okay, first aid, so we know she has first aid. This definitely looks like it's gonna be a harder enemy to kind of deal with. And I think that's pretty much everything. Then, of course, they went back and turned in the quest and blah, 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 blah. And that's pretty much it. So this was a pretty long video, actually. Just kind of talking about... I said I was going to skip around, but we ended up almost watching the entire thing anyway. But I want you guys to let me know what you guys think. I'm actually very excited. After watching all the gameplay videos and, you know, kind of like pre-reviews that people have put out, I'm very excited for the game. I'm obviously not the kind of person that's going to be showing you how to, you know, do 300 hit combos. You know, when we go through our playthrough on the channel, it's going to be very story-oriented. You know, I really just want to know what these characters are about. Obviously, we're going to have fun with the gameplay. You know, see which characters that really vibe with me and stuff like that. But of course, the main enjoyment for Tales of Arise will be in how the story is handled, which I am very excited to see. So that's going to be it, guys. The stream is tomorrow. Whatever gets shown at the stream, I'll make another video covering. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know how excited you are. Let me know which character you are most excited to play as in Tales of Arise. But that's going to be it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.